This is Anthony Cox with the New River Center for Energy Research and Training in Christiansburg, Virginia. I've got a smart board set up here and a game controller. What I'm doing is using this game, the smart board and the controller, to operate the Intercaz game and to do combustion safety simulation and training. And basically what I've done is taken the game controller and programmed it to functions for this game, which is basically moving the avatar around, and then the other mouse button is set up to do, other joystick button is set up to do mouse functions. And then on the back of the controller here, these 4 buttons are set up to do left clicks, like for your mouse. And so you can walk around the house here. As far as the house goes, to click on things, on the smart board, you can just take your finger and slide that on the door and it'll open it. And that works fine. If you want, you can just touch the door and then you can left click one of the mouse buttons that I set up. It'll do the same thing. So I'll walk on into the house here and walk around here. So we're going on into the living room, and then when you have appliance or whatever, you can just touch that. And on this smart board, you kind of have to slide your finger a little bit, and it'll, of course, bring up the appliance. Then you can touch the knobs. What I like to do, instead of just, is actually kind of turn it in the direction that you would turn the appliance on or off. So in this case, it turned the gas heater on. If I turn it back, then it turns it off. If I wanted to do a gas leak check, for instance, I can bring up my toolbox. And sometimes you got to hold your finger there a little bit. So I got my gas sniffer up. And sometimes on the gas sniffer, it's a little bit easier to just touch it and then use the mouse button here just to click it. And that may just be the smart board here, but that might take some playing around with. Then I can slide here to activate the gas sniffer. Then I can click on my gas line here, and or just touch it. And then that'll do my gas leak check. It says there was a gas leak, and then when these boxes come up, you just have to slide your finger right on the part where the check box is. In this case, it gives me some options. I'm going to select this option, and I check the test with bubble leak test for the gas leaks. So I'm going to exit this appliance. And I'm going to move on into the kitchen here. So move on into the kitchen, and you have like windows that you can open and close. And the windows, you can just slide your finger on those. I like to slide it up, or you can slide it down. And again, the way the smart board works, it really doesn't matter which way you slide your finger. I can slide it to the left or right, and it still works. It's probably more fun to just go up or down the way you would actually do it. And then same thing here on the oven or the range. You can bring that up. You can slide your finger on the door, and this time we actually have, looks like a cake in there. So we're going to empty the oven, and we can open and close the door, and we can turn the oven on, select the temperature. Oven's warmed up. If we want to go turn the burners on, we can turn each one of the burners on. And again, I just use my finger, kind of turn it in the direction that you would. So that's pretty cool, and it responds quickly as well. I can turn them off. If I want to bring up my combustion analyzer, I can go back to my toolbox, bring up my CO meter. And sometimes it does work better on the tools, it seems like, to just touch it and then use your mouse button to click it. But I think that'll just take some practice. And then over here, you want to pick which test you're doing, whether you're doing a combustion or ambient CO. I'm going to do a combustion test. And so I'm going to go right into turning on this burner. I'm going to do my test over here, and that'll give my CO reading there. And then when I'm done with that, I should be able to just turn this off or hit OK. And turn this off. And again, it may work better just to touch it and then click it with your mouse. And then if you want to do gas leaks, you can touch on here and it brings up your gas leak detector. And then it'll check for your gas leaks. Got a lot of gas leaks in this place. Do your bubble test, you know. So you can move through that pretty quick. And turn the burner back off. And so I turned that off. Exit out of that. I'm going to go over to the range hood. I'll touch the range hood. Of course, you got all your indicators down here at the bottom. My oven's still on. Turn on the range hood. There, it's on now. So the range hood's now on down here at the bottom. And can turn that back off. So the range hood's now off. And I'm going to slide this. So going back around the house here. So it seems to me that the maybe the mouse function got off here. Sometimes if you've got another program open, you may have to, what this program has is a little game controller software. Sometimes I'll have to Alt-Tab if I've somehow clicked out of it. Just click back into the game controller software and then back into your game. And then it should be working fine. Seems like it's kind of like it engages it. So for some reason you click out of the program, you may have to go to that little game controller, just re-engage it. Also set up the resolution is 800 by 600, so it fills the whole screen. The doors, again, you can just touch the doors. They'll open and close. So we can go down the hallway here. We have a thermostat. We can slide the thermostat or touch it, and it'll bring up our thermostat here. And another, I like to just touch the slider, and you can just take your finger on there and slide it to the right, in this case for heat. If I touch it again, I can slide it to the left. I can turn the fan on. Right now it's set to on. If I slide it this way, actually it was set to auto, and now it's on. So you can slide your finger either way and to get back out of it. And so I'm turn around and look back down the hallway here. Right here is the water heater, so I can just touch the water heater. Got the water heater set up here. I can just turn that to on or hot, and the water heater's now on. I can turn it around and turn the water heater back off here. I just keep turning the knob around. Up here at the top, you can turn the pallet on or off. To pallet, and then back to on, and back to heat, So that all works really well. And then I can leave the appliance. But having the joystick, and being able to touch the screen is pretty cool, because then you get that sense of touch. And moving around the house, and it's, on the smart board, this one's fairly large, so it's almost not quite life size, but pretty close. And the joystick, like I say, does make it a lot easier to kind of move around. And you don't have to think too much about that. You can just use your thumb to kind of guide yourself around. And so it moves pretty well with the joystick. And then it's, like I say, it's pretty fun to be able to just touch the appliances and go to them and those kinds of things. And so it's pretty neat, and we look forward to trying it out in our class some more. Now that we've got it working on the smart board, I've got a wireless controller that's on the way now, so I won't even have to be corded to the laptop. So anyway, it's Anthony Cox, New River Training Center in Virginia. Thanks. Appreciate your time.